Howdy y'all, it's your man Cam and we are back with another video. So this week is going to be a little bit more of a discussion instead of me giving advice, which is something I've kind of been looking forward to. I obviously want this to be a place where I can give advice to y'all and help y'all dress better, but I also want this to be a place where we can just come and talk about men's fashion, men's style, and just, hang out. What I want to talk about today is Supreme or anything hype in general bad for fashion? And I know this can be a little bit of a contentious topic here on YouTube, but I think it's kind of good to look at it from both sides and get to hear what the pros and the cons are. So let's dive right in. For those of you who don't know, Supreme has been around since 1994, but they've really made a come up in recent years thanks in no part to celebrities like Kanye West, Tyler the Creator, and so forth. There's also brands such as Off-White and Travis Scott's Cactus Jack, and those have also been really popular in more recent years. What's considered popular or hype nowadays comes and goes so fast that brands have to constantly put out new ideas. And as a result, some things can be kind of hit or miss. Like, dudes will really be trying to sell Supreme Oreos and Supreme Band-Aids. Like, for real? Despite all of this, Supreme has still been able to get such a mass following that stuff sells out within minutes. And that's including all of the stuff that people say, not that great, or not really feeling it, or that ain't it, chief. And other brands are the same way, if you wanted to get the next hype piece or next crazy nice shoe, you either have to win a raffle or you have to join the dark side and get a bot, which is just crazy to think about. And what's the most crazy is that all this is literally just shoes and clothing. Like, at the end of the day, that's all it is. And sometimes I personally have to take a step back and think, okay, what does style and fashion truly mean to me? And I can talk about that in a future video, but spoiler alert, it's not about how much money I can spend. Nowadays people on Instagram are just flexing with all their money and putting the dollar signs in their titles, and on YouTube it's about how much you can spend or whatever, and personally I'm just not about that. I think there's a lot more to fashion and style. I think all of this personally is a reason to answer yes to our original question. Hype can be bad for men's fashion and for men's style because who cares how much money you spend? You're not expressing yourself, you're not being a part of a community, and it's just all about the branding at the end of the day. And it doesn't even really look good most of the time. Like, you can have a statement piece and it can look really good, and I have a lot of those in my wardrobe. But when you can combine them all together, it just looks tacky and it doesn't look right. And if that's your thing, more power to you, Everyone should be able to do what they want. But my channel personally is just about making you want to dress better and helping you accomplish your goals. And so I personally just don't think that all the branding and all of the flexing is all that. I think it's fine to have that sprinkled in here and there, but all in moderation. But I also think that there's a really good reason for no, Supreme and hype is not bad for fashion. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory on my own personal style journey. So, like a lot of people, I started off looking on YouTube just for inspo in general, and I started with the giants. I started with Teaching Men's Fashion, Alpha M, all those, really big channels. And those are great, honestly. They focus a lot on the basics and they focus a lot on fit. And those are really good building blocks. And so once you know those, you're really able to expand and move on to the different styles because you have the basic building blocks. But personally, I didn't feel like I was really able to express myself, and it kind of got a little boring for me, which is fine. And so I started to expand a little bit, and I started watching channels like Richie Lee, Locust and Wild Honey, and all of that. I really moved into the streetwear culture, and I'll be honest, I got caught up in the hype. And for me, it was just all about what's the most expensive thing I can get. And, at the time, the answer was not a lot, but it was still something it was fun, it was interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And like I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with that. But then after that, I actually was able to evolve into my own personal style. And now I'm able to integrate all of those influences. So I still have a little bit of streetwear in me, but I also have a little bit of those basics from the beginning. And I have a lot of things that really make my own style me, but I think that the hype was really important for me because it was almost like a springboard. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to expand and find my own personal style. And really, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that these brands don't just offer the super hyped things. So take Supreme, for example. There's a lot of things that really each season and each week that aren't really hyped up. You don't really see them. You don't see them in your Instagram Explorer. You don't see them going for crazy numbers on StockX. But they can still look really good. Like, I have a few shirts that I think are pretty cool, and you know what? They go for about retail. There's no resale on them, and that's fine because I think they look pretty cool. And the same goes for all these other brands, I would just say don't be afraid to explore and go and look around and find what you really like. And you know, after that you can say, hey, I really like this. I wonder if there's other brands that do something similar, or oh, I'm noticing a theme. I might be really interested in this style. So don't be afraid to just look around, figure out why you like what you like. And I think that's where you're really gonna start to find who you are, and you'll really have your own style journey, just like I did. Now that we've kind of seen both sides, I can kind of talk a little bit more about how I personally feel, and if it wasn't obvious enough, I side with, no, I don't think Supreme and hype is all that bad for men's fashion. And I know there's some downsides, and we already talked about some, and I think the other side of that has kind of gone along with the expansion of the internet and social media. You know, I think a lot of influencers promoting certain brands has kind of helped the exclusivity part, and brands have capitalized on that for sure. You know, they've limited stock, they've drummed up the hype themselves, and so come drop day, you know, you're probably not able to get what you want, so maybe you'll buy something else that they always have in stock. And that's kind of the point, you know, they're drumming up their business, and they're getting you to the site, and they're hoping that you'll buy something else. And I also think consumers have capitalized as well. That's why we have the resale market, you know. You used to have people camping out in lines for days, and now you have people buying bots and, you know, doing crazy numbers, and they're making their whole living based off of reselling. And more power to you if that's your hustle, you know, I gotta respect that, but it's just personally not for me. And I think, like I said earlier, it's a really great opportunity for you to say, what do I like about these brands, you know? Is it really just the branding? Is it really the hype? If that's the case, then save up. Save up for the pieces you really like and go for it. But you can also take a chance to step back a little bit and say, okay, I like a lot of these have a little bit more of a rugged feel to them. Maybe I should look into more of the workwear, the Americana trends, or, oh, I really like these, they look futuristic and techy. You can go look at the techwear stuff, you know. There's something out there for everyone. I think that hype is great. It's a springboard. And I think if you use that to your advantage, you can really find your own personal expression and your own personal style. And so I would love to see Supreme and Off-White and Travis Scott keep doing great, because I think it's also getting people into the hobby. I think it's really getting people interested. And I personally think style is really important. I think it's something everyone should care about. I'm a little biased, but I really do think it's important how you present yourself, how you express yourself. So, well, that wraps up things for this week's video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about Supreme and hype culture? Is it bad for men's fashion, or is it great? Let me know what you think. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up, as it's greatly appreciated, and I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next one.